We all want the best for our children. We all have a vested interest in making sure they are healthy and well developed during their early formative years. They are our future. But recent lifestyle changes have resulted in increasing levels of inactivity in our youngest and most vulnerable babies and children. We have an epidemic of lost physicality. What is happening to the development of their senses, their motor skills, their ability to concentrate, and ultimately their ability to cope with life at school? In 2011, the Chief Medical Officer for the UK released physical activity guidelines for the early years. This reflected both a growing awareness of the importance of physical activity for this age group and also the high levels of sedentary behaviour in the under 5s. The Health Survey for England in 2012 showed that 91% of 2 to 4-year-olds fail to reach these guidelines. 84% of children under 5 engaged in less than 1 hour of physical activity per day. At the same time, levels of sedentary behaviour, prolonged sitting or lying, are extremely high, 8 to 10 hours a day. Physical activity levels in childcare settings appear also to be generally very low. The majority of studies suggest that children accumulate less than 60 minutes of moderate or vigorous physical activity over an 8-hour period. This is having a direct impact on all areas of children's lives, including their sensory development, movement skills, healthy weight, emotional well-being, and ultimately their readiness for formal learning at school.
What problems do you see in children with poor movement skills?
We've seen an increase really in things like concentration, behaviour, not being able to sit still on the carpet, needing to shout out all the time. Fine motor skills have been really noticeable, that children can't use a pair of scissors, can't hold a pencil properly. They're really struggling to form letters. And spatial awareness when they're playing, bumping into each other constantly, and not having an awareness of that space around them.
And do you think this has had an impact over time? So has it changed over time?
Definitely, it's sort of year on year it seems to get worse, and that's probably the dawn of the technological age, with iPads and games consoles, children spending a lot more time in front of computers and things like that, rather than being out and about and climbing trees and running and falling off fences and things like that.
The truth is that experiences in early childhood sculpt a young child's developing brain. Language, emotional and cognitive development are all built upon a solid foundation of good sensory motor skills located in the lower areas of the brain. Like building a house, the stages of development follow a sequence. The inhibition of baby reflexes and the development of posture, the development of the senses, motor skills, and important movement patterns, oral language, visual and auditory skills. These are the foundations for success in both daily living and in formal learning at school. In order to develop these foundations, children need to be moving in all directions for several hours a day. Movement play in early childhood has a huge impact on the growth and organisation of the brain.
Active Being Club is a physical development programme which works with early year settings such as childminders, preschools and nurseries to build on the staff's knowledge and confidence in delivering physical activity. Active Being Club works directly in a setting for 8 weeks, for a set time depending on the age group. Once the first part of the programme has been completed, the setting then has access to 3 follow-up visits. These visits are flexible and tailored to the setting's needs. We also deliver parent information sessions, oral health training and PE sessions. Many settings have fed back that the reason why they have chosen Active Being Club is because it is delivered directly in the setting, with the staff and the children, and helps to link their policies up with the physical activity. Settings have reported many positive change they have made after involvement in the programme. Reducing the number of tables and chairs out in the setting, using them mainly just at lunch and snack times. Physical activity has a set time to be delivered in the day. Writing and implementing a physical activity policy. Staff are more confident in talking to parents about promoting a positive physical environment at home and communicating ideas for this. They have better awareness of the guidance around physical activity for the under 5s and physical activity guidelines.
So, since we last visited and spoke, has there been any changes to your physical development provision here at the preschool?
Yes, there has. We've made lots of physical activities part of our daily routine. We do a woodland wake up for about 10-15 minutes now, both the older children and the younger children. The older ones go outside first and they do lots of stretches, forwards, backwards, using different parts of their bodies.
Which is what we've seen this afternoon.
Yes, you have. And also this afternoon the younger ones have joined in with that. They do lots of getting back down on their tummies and strengthening their core. That's what they tend to do. Also, we've taken away most of the chairs and tables that we have in our setting. We know with the activities and getting the children back down on the floor using tough spots.
So crouching down to move,
yes.
Moving their core, getting them to move a little bit more.
Yes, that's right. Yes, and also we're encouraging the children to use their hands more like carrying their lunch bags and their coats and not giving them to the mums and dads.
And has there been any other change you've made to the setting here? Any areas you've developed? So has your outside garden changed? I think it has from when we last came.
Yes, it has dramatically. Yes, we've worked very hard because we're based in a church as well. We've worked very hard with them. So we've introduced a soft area which is bark. And there's railway sleepers in there as well, so lots of climbing, and we've got tree stumps as well. We've introduced a mud kitchen, which the children love. I'm not so sure the parents do, but the children are loving that. We've got a growing area, so they're doing lots of digging, using watering cans. We've got the wooden pallets and some tyres as well, the children rolling. The children love being outside, and we try and use lots of natural materials as well.
So really developing their heavy work skills, and previously when we visited it was just hard standing area, so you've made lots of changes to your outdoor provision.
Yes,
that's
hopefully
great.
we're going to introduce ladders and steps as well.
Oh wow,
So,
it'll be exciting to see that.
yes.
What is the impact of Active Being on the staff and children here?
The staff are so much more confident in their ability to deliver physical activities and speaking to parents about children's development as well. If they've noticed any development milestones that are not being met, they're more aware of it. and it's given them the confidence to speak to the parents about that.
Which is really important, otherwise we're not prepared for when we go to school, and then we've got other issues being picked up later on. So that's
yes,
great.
And it's about promoting their health and the children's well-being as well.
Is there anything else you've noticed with the children? Has any of their behaviour improved?
Yes, their behaviour has improved. Yes, they want to be outside, and it's also given the children more independence as well.
The Big Moves intervention programme has been created to help Foundation and Key Stage 1 children in schools improve their physical development and has an impact on wider school life, including developing listening, concentration, learning success and appropriate behaviour. The Big Moves project has been developed over a 6-year period in South Leicestershire schools. The programme is based upon how the brain develops in early childhood and the foundation of sensory and motor skills that every child needs to succeed in school and life. A specialist movement coach is employed to deliver a 6-week programme for Foundation or Key Stage 1 students. Before the Big Moves project starts, class teachers fill out an assessment on pupils' handwriting, concentration, ability to sit, ability to show initiative, self-care, social involvement, behaviour and academic progress. Participants also draw self-portraits with a sample of their handwriting. During the first session, an assessment of fundamental movement is completed by the movement coach. The children perform 12 movements designed to test core muscles, hand movement, balance, body strength and listening skills. During the next 4 weeks, the coach teaches the children 10 moves designed to improve sensory and motor skills. These moves are based around strengthening the children's body, core muscles, hand movement, balance, proprioception, control of eye movement and listening skills. The movement coach delivers a range of weekly activities designed to embed the moves, and school staff work with the children daily. A parent resource is given out to the children which encourages them to practice the movements at home. A member of staff from the school observes the sessions with the aim to carry on the project in their school after the final session. Session plans are given to staff and training is delivered to school staff to ensure the activities are sustained. The physical assessment is carried out again in the final week to measure the improvement in movement skill. After the last session, class teachers fill out the same assessments and note any progress. Right, so the next and the final part of the leader,
Next, sir.
Mark. Right, can we follow the leader? Oliver. How has the Big Moves programme enabled you to tackle these issues?
It's meant that we've been able to identify, it's kind of encouraged us to identify children with specific needs in this area and then to work with them. We've been running interventions between the weekly sessions. They've been coming out and working with our sports coach to help improve their gross motor and fine motor skills, to work on their core muscles. And we are using the techniques that you've shown us to build on what we've been doing in the sessions. We're also looking at running one-to-one interventions on a daily basis with specific children that need that extra push.
What impact have you seen with the children taking part in the project?
On the whole, we've seen huge improvements. Children that weren't able to sit through a 5-minute talk on the carpet are now sitting and focusing and paying attention and can recall and follow instructions that are given to them. We've seen improvement in writing and colouring. We've recently had Decorations Day, and at the start of term, the thought of giving them something to colour or to paint, it would have been everywhere. You know, now they're inside the lines a lot more, and it's a lot more precise. Yeah, one particular child I'm thinking of, his confidence has just gone through the roof. Before, he would sit in a lesson and you wouldn't know whether he was really paying attention or not, whether he was taking in anything that you were saying. And now he's there, he's at the front, he's putting his hand up, he's answering questions. It's amazing. We've seen real results.